Just found out one of the slices that I thought was a single slice of pizza is actually two. Double pizza. But I also wasn't expecting it when I used the tongs to lift it out and it just split in half. Fell back in and I was like, oh, okay. I guess I heated up 3 slices, not just 2. Cool beans. Get Genshin? Oh. Oh, no, I always mute, whenever I'm doing my stream, Discord and desktop audio aren't audible on the start screen, and I always mute my mic beforehand, so. Hello? Chat, are you there? It's me, your god. No, it's just me. Hello. I see Mary in the chat with the first. I don't know if Tox is actually here, but I know he redeemed something earlier today. Yes, I see you, dear. Yeah, they goofed up some of the rewards. I remember hearing about that, but I hadn't really looked at it myself. So, are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. It'll probably be a little bit of a low-key stream tonight. We're just going to work on the new Archon quests, which means there will probably be a lot of cutscenes and stuff like that. Oof. So, you'll just have to bear with me. But it should still be a good time, some good story to be had, and all of that stuff. So without further ado,
seems all the other knights already have their
let's
hands
head
full.
out. Oh, I lied. I have two things we need to do real quick first. No, we have one thing we need to do real quick first. Oh, I don't want to stand in the fire. I have done that before. I killed Ito once doing that. Car will not let me live it down. And I will cook these. I want some more items. Alright. Because I believe there's a new domain also. I don't know if it's part of the story or not, though. I know nothing, actually, really, like, at all about what's about to happen. Well, I know a few things, but keeps you nice and toasty warm. Oh, actually, I forgot that I need to be over here. Don't mind me. All right, there we go. Hello, darling Kath. Hello. Thank you for the lurk. Yes, feel free to get cozy, snuggle up, scooch in.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying
Putting
to
on
write
that
a thriller
autoplay.
here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you?
What the hell is
It's a
this
TARDIS
accent?
and a mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my
Oh.
teacher's area of research. I can't change that.
Am I gonna have to go to
But it's
Tatarasuna?
fascinating enough without having to sensationalize
Because I haven't been to
it, don't you think?
Tatarasuna yet, I don't
The
think.
strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
This poor guy.
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But that's all the way in Inazuma! Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything. Great! Let's go find out.
I mean,
what this
the academia is all about, like, the pursuit of knowledge, you know, like, I'm not terribly surprised that people just wander around and do whatever. Like, they go to Liyue all the time, though I guess that's a neighboring country, so that's not too far.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper.
This is...
If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
This sounds like Toma's VA. Am I crazy? It sounds like Toma's VA to me.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Yes.
Hey, what's with that face? Don't...
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck.
I feel like I'm
And as a
listening to a
force of
Dragon
habit, I
Age
started,
character, not a Genshin
examining the
NPC.
evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our
Yeah, this
social
is
skills are kinda
definitely
lacking.
either Griffin or oh, I forget the name of Toma's
Traveler,
VA,
I hear
but
you've
him.
helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you
Please tell me
talking
there's
about
going
it
to be a
and
whole
wanted
region
to
of
learn
people who
more.
talk like that. No, probably not.
I see.
Well, okay, for an example, Mary, like Sumeru, a lot of it is supposed to be based on, like, at least on initial assessment, the side of the country that's like the academia and stuff feels like it's supposed to be, I feel like it's supposed to be like Hindi inspired, but everybody's white and they talk like they have American accents. So, I mean, not that I wanted everybody to come in here and like put on a fake accent, but I'm just saying, don't expect anything.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Elliot Gindi?
Let me
Wait,
give you some
which one is
background.
Elliot?
This all
Tell me
started with
in
the discovery of
DMs.
some
I want to know.
records in Tatarasuna.
But yes, get out of here
The
for the
writings
spoilers.
mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabukimono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
Seems like I probably
my
know what's
thoughts
about to happen.
exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
Yeah, chill out, Sawada.
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so
Calm
happens that a
down.
friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago.
What?
Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of
Hi,
Inazuma's
Tox.
smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Interesting. Yeah, don't we know someone named Niwa? That sounds familiar.
Wait, so there are two missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great
That's why I know
swordsmith
the name.
clans
Yeah,
of
okay, yeah.
Inazuma?
'Cause this is why we had to
Oh,
do
the swordsmiths? Yeah,
Kazuha's
Ancient art and
quest.
so on?
Yeah.
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. that makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan.
Yeah!
The practitioners of Ishin art.
That's why I know the name.
Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
I mean,
Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
there's more?
Yes, of course. How could I forget?
But wait,
Brace
there's
your
more.
minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but a puppet.
Oh, okay, so it's the Wanderer.
A puppet?
The Shogun puppet that the Electro Arc. I was trying to read it. Whatever. The Kabuki Mono has to be the Balladeer, but what was he doing 400 years ago in Tatarasuna?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Oh, look at V and Cat's emotes and their cute matching blinkies. How adorable.
No! Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly
Oh, look at
what
them
my book
next
is
to each
about.
other. How
Please, take a look.
cute! Kawaii! Oh my god. Do we dare read all of this? I'm not reading it in the same accent. My god. Okay, here we go. A man arrived in Tatarasuna around 3 in the afternoon. From afar, he spied laborers walking along the mountain roads towards the factories, their shoes scuffing along the jutting stones. They walked like people convinced that so long as they reached the fire raging in the mountain's belly, they might extract from it gems beyond price. The mood that the sight inspired was ineffable, beyond mere description for those not present to witness it. The man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted to join the procession. There, a towering character, who stood half a head taller, greeted him with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his words were filled with respect. Do my eyes deceive me? Sir Miyazaki! I cannot think that the return trip here from Inazuma City could have been easy on you. Miyazaki smiled like a young man taking the first steps on their journey, expression relaxed. Why, Katsuragi, Inazuma is the realm of the almighty Shogun. I sailed upon the fastest ship, strode upon the swiftest sea routes. What dangers could I have possibly faced? And what about the good news? The good news. There was some, naturally. The two burst into uproarious laughter, roughhousing with other workers until the path's end. A young man, dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf, gazed into the dancing flames of the furnace before him. Now, the flames of a forge are unlike any other, for their intensity affects the resulting integrity of both metal and blade. So too, then, was the flame watcher an unusual individual. At his fingertips sat a lizard, and on his face he wore a smile. The workshop was huge, and the furnace was deeper within. A reasonable person might think that there should have been many working alongside the watcher, yet he stood alone. Only when Katsuragi and Miyazaki strode into the room did the watcher turn. This watcher was Niwa, armory officer and administrator of Tatarasuna. Born to the Niwa clan, which served as one of the 3 pillars of the Ishin art, Niwa never argued with his siblings and was a worthy successor by all accounts. The post he received as a result of his high standing with those in power served as a statement unto itself. Miyazaki handed a well-bundled text to Niwa as he adjusted his expression. Wait, what? I think this is mistranslated. Miyazaki handed a well-bundled text to Niwa as he adjusted his expression. It said, "It is as you have said, sir. The elders of your clan in the city do not think highly of our plan. Yet I still believe it to be worth a try. As such, I have found the proper vendors and procured the materials that you requested." Niwa studied the text and nodded. "We should try some of these new forging techniques, whether Kaidahara says yea or nay." Katsuragi frowned, and with a sigh he said, Forging is a precise and difficult undertaking. You know this better than most, sirs, and still you seek improvement each day with terrifying drive. Ah, should my lord Nagamasa hear this, the sourness in his face shall be hard to miss. Niwa smiled, replying, And how goes the forging of your lord's great blade, Katsuragi? Katsuragi neither wanted to shame his master nor lie to his two friends, and yet he could not think of any way to deflect, and so groused, I see your ears are as keen as your hands, Sir Niwa. The jokes of us unlearned men are as nothing before you. Miyazaki hid his grin. Upon hearing this, Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm. But just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby, their footsteps light with the celerity of youth. The head that peeked in was round, and, in the light of the fires, looked like an oiled jewel. Interesting. The young man placed some boxed food at the side, and nodding, he prepared to leave. Katsuragi called out after him, What about your share? Aren't you going to eat it? The young man, upon hearing those words, found himself slightly at a loss. After a while, he answered, Very well. I'll try it. You're welcome to the food. We all eat the same fare, after all, Niwa said. The man nodded and left, seemingly deep in thought. Extract 2. Yeah, I thought it said celery at first. The Kabuki-mono was by the coast. Sunset fell to the accompaniment of darkness. The bands of twilight showed themselves not, for in their place did thunderclouds roil, grumbling the omens of a coming rainstorm. Thank you for the head bath, Mary. Darkness filled the flesh of the sea, and the dusk bade the clouds to kneel upon the land, its supplication mirroring the Kabuki-mono, with knees bent and face pointed toward the waters. None passed that way, and none knew what he was waiting for in silence. Time passed, unmeasured and uncounted, till the black clouds suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the Kabuki-mono, bearing down on him like a nightmare. Though he was not aware at first, after his studying gaze was refined by time, he understood. This cloud had marked him from the very start. Outbound, a fishing boat drew near, the lights of its bow flickering in and out of sight beneath falling sheets of rain. A mist unspooled across the area, stealing sight from the fisherman. Repeatedly he exclaimed, It is but dusk! How are my eyes darkened? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon safe tides? Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat, and was joined in its bereftness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the Kabuki-mono stood idle, slanting his head to study the grand wreck. Not but half an arm was left of the one who had cried out for help, and with a plop, it landed at the Kabuki-mono's feet. He crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite out of it. Yet he did not, for the dark clouds swirling down had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. The Kabuki-mono stared at it blankly, like an awakening dreamer. When he returned to himself, the clouds had scattered, as if they had never been there at all. As for the ship, could it have been struck down by a storm? Who was to know? Not the Kabuki-mono. What is going on? Extract 3. Katsuragi rushed to the doorway and shouted, My lord! Things go ill at the furnace. I have searched for Sir Niwa, but there is no trace of him. And much time has passed since Sir Miyazaki left to seek aid, but he has yet to send us any missive. Look! Mikoshi Nagamasa turned slowly, his face grave as one attending a funeral. He spoke then, his words heavy-laden. I wish not to say such words, Katsuragi, but Sir Miyazaki may never return. Katsuragi peered past Nagamasa's broad, stiff shoulders beyond the windows. The clouds above boiled in waves of black, as if darkness now was the only weather, and might even morph into an abyssal beast and devour Tatarasuna whole. Over 10 people had already perished. That was why... Katsuragi recoiled as if struck. Yes, it was coming back to him now, in dribs and drabs. That was why they had to set out to seek aid. Or that was why they had... Yeah, no, I read that right. Miyazaki had been the first to set sail. The clouds had only just begun to form then. Traveling from Tatarasuna to Inazuma to ask for support was normally no great feat, and yet there had been no sign of his return. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third, and a fourth, till the Kabuki Mono himself had departed upon the tides under foul skies and ominous fortunes. It had been Katsuragi who had brought him back and treated him as his own, and it pained him greatly to see the lad go. Yet the situation in Tatarasuna was severe. Even should they sacrifice more lives, it would have been worth it to gain assistance from Inazuma City. Niwa was gone, and none could find him. Afterward, Nagamasa led a search party into the mountains and the area around the furnace, all to no avail. Folk began to wonder if Niwa might have encountered an accident, but worry soon turned to suspicion, and they wondered if he had fled, unwilling to bear the sin of having caused these incidents. Interesting. The people grew ever more suspicious, and Nagamasa himself strained against his discontent and fury. His face had grown to resemble the rumbling clouds above. Suddenly, a figure flashed by. Their presence did not go unnoticed by Nagamasa. He drew his blade and cut, though he only nicked the silken veil the intruder wore. For a moment they swayed, and then, like a marionette pulled by strings, they moved behind Nagamasa, laughing darkly. "Are you seeking someone, my lord? Niwa, perhaps?" Nagamasa bellowed in fury. "You dare address Sir Niwa directly?" Yet the figure parted like mist before his falling blade, only to rematerialize beyond reach but not beyond sight. A ghastly apparition indeed. "Was it you who slew my people?" Nagamasa howled and charged, held back only by Katsuragi's desperate grip. As his senses returned to him, he realized he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. It seems that the rest of this work remains unfinished. From the existing text, however, it is apparent that this is a novel of fantastical, colorful sensibilities born from an imagination well utilized.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well.
Let me get some water. Damn, this be a lot of reading. Hope y'all were ready for story time with Hex. Okay. A brief analysis of possible events of historical importance in the Tatarasuna area. Details. This text belongs to a series of works sponsored by the Vahumana's Veil Cutter project. It is yet to be numbered. Author Akaba. Abstract. The Tatarasuna area has always been a major pillar of Inazuma's smithing industry. 2 incidents have occurred here, and the details behind the first are vague at best. I believe, however, that there might be a hidden history behind the events that transpired. Hence, this paper will attempt to analyze what may have unfolded from the available data. It's literally me. Yeah. Glossary, Tatarasuna area, Raiden Gokuden, Mikoshi Nagamasa, Kabukimono. Introduction. This paper continues and expands the work of my mentor, Mr. Rumi, in his report on the haply hidden tales of Tatarasuna, and is intended to further his avenue of research. According to the data, the blade forging techniques of Inazuma were originally handed down from the Electro Archon, also known as the Raiden Shogun. Using the arts they inherited from their Archon, the people of Inazuma devoted themselves to the process of forging. However, strange rumors that do not quite fit the steely nature of metalwork yet linger about Tatarasuna, which was a central pillar of the forging industry. There, the Mikoshi and Niwa clans, along with an eccentric puppet, serve as the 3 windows of insight we need to investigate the truth behind what happened. Body. Strange notes from the Tatarasuna area. Their contents are as follows. 1. Perhaps I overstep, but I think that Sir Nagamasa's mood grows better when he forges blades. The obsession to cleanse the stain of the name Mikoshi must eat at him. Also, Sir Katsuragi discovered a nameless eccentric while patrolling around Nozuchi Beach. 2. The inspector bought a certain number of jade steel ingots. Sir Katsuragi discussed matters of smithing deep into the night with the vice armory officer. 3. We at last made a single nagamaki. We call it the Daitatara Nagamasa. The inspector was in high spirits, and he and the vice armory officer Nozomu was taken. Wait. Nozomu was so taken by the beauty of the Daitatara Nagamasa that he drew a picture of it, and he performed a sword dance with that wandering eccentric. 4. And we could not find that eccentric. The inspector flew into a rage and slashed Katsuragi. The great blade cut deep into the flesh, cast his own Nagamaki into the furnace's flame. Nozomu could not abide by that order and drew the completely melted weapon out of the furnace. He was horribly burned. 5. Nozomu died that night. I dare say that while Sir Katsuragi may have committed Genshin, you don't need to use these words. May have committed malfeasance, it was out of the goodness of his heart. Kinjiro hid the Nagamaki in Nozomu's drawing in the arsenal. Nagamasa is harsh, but also knows right from wrong. But even so, he is not amenable to reason. His name indicates one obsessed with purity. Still, I and some households of Tatarasuna have not been blinded by the matter of Nagamasa's mother Chiyo, God, and we trust him. I also remain unwilling to forget the joy of creating the Daitatara Nagamasa with him, and that joy of watching what nameless and the joy of watching that nameless eccentric perform that sword dance with Katsuragi. 7. Before we withdrew, we should have divided the arsenal key into 3 parts, one for the inspector, one for the armory officer, and one to be left in Tatarasuna itself to prevent theft. But we were in too much of a hurry, and neither the inspector nor the armory officer could be found, so I was so bold as to hide the 3 pieces within treasure chests in Tatarasuna. Great. The 7 notes mentioned prior have been scattered across the Tatarasuna area. Among the 7 notes, 6 seem to be of good physical integrity, though they all look quite old, while the last one looks more recent. I believe that the first 6 notes and the last are of different time periods, though the gulf in years between them needs to be verified. The contents of the first 6 should also be related to each other, as the incidents mentioned are quite consistent with one another. Rumi once mentioned in Happily Hidden Tales of Tatarasuna, hereafter known as Hidden Tales, that in the past researchers from Sumeru had investigated the cultural histories of Tatarasuna and Inazuma. That the place has fallen into some degree of disrepair since the Hidden Tales were written, things have improved since the time when I wrote my original article. Regardless, what used to be an area of major industry remains a place most inhospitable, and residents of Tatarasuna may be found living and dwelling by the waters. The residents, when questioned, told the researchers of Tatarasuna's Golden Age centuries ago, when it was administered by Armory Officer Niwa, Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki, and Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. Yet, the elders among the locals with deeper ties to the region also seemed to stress the fact that there were strange rumors surrounding their homeland's past. A great many of these rumors revolved around the yokai, who are so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A small portion, however, repeatedly mentions the word puppet. It should be known that puppets are neither traditional nor common yokai in Inazuma. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually the following pieces of information came to light. What's with the unnecessarily right? It's a thing. Because this is supposed to be written by someone from the academia, which is a conglomeration of scholars in Sumeru, they feel the need to make it excessive. A puppet did once appear in Tatarasuna. Its visage was elegant, its apparel impeccable, and the way it dressed hid all the joint lines on its body. If no one were to mention that it was indeed a puppet, it would be hard to tell at all. Additionally, this puppet seemed to possess special joint lines that would fade with time, potentially even disappearing altogether, which would perhaps eventually make the puppet seem entirely human. The name of the puppet was known to almost none. Some folk claimed to have spotted it appearing around Tatarasuna, while others mentioned encountering it in central regions of the area. Some even claimed that it would frequent the beach. Tales spread of it standing beside the sea and gazing across the waters toward Inazuma City. What it was that puppet was gazing at remains a mystery. As mentioned earlier, the 6 notes all document a certain nameless eccentric. The eccentric, which can also be read as kabukimono, is usually used in Inazuma to refer to a figure who dresses or behaves in a peculiar manner. It is understandable, therefore, why this character would have left such an impression. Should the people of Tatarasuna indeed have had a puppet in their midst incurring mass panic, a good possibility considering the coexistence between yokai and humans in Inazuma at large, then the puppet would have very likely become a local resident. What is less known is if the Kabukimono was just another title for this puppet, perhaps because it was uniquely dressed to distract attention from its more special characteristics. A workable theory, but one that still lacks enough evidence to support it. Still, it can be retained as an analytical lens of sorts. A list of individuals related to Tarasuna has been compiled here based on historical documents from Inazuma. Starting from the administrators, the records are as follows. Take another drink. Armory Officer Niwa. Full name Niwa Hisahide. He was the inheritor of the Ishin art and successor to the Niwa clan. His family, along with the Akame and Kaidahara clans, were together known as the Ishin Sensaku. Records show that Niwa was a modest and intelligent individual who displayed remarkable talent in the administration of territory and people. His eventual whereabouts are unknown, but he was suspected to have left Tatarasuna with his family following the incident. Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki. Full name Miyazaki Kaneo. He was Niwa's second in command. His origins are unknown, and he primarily assisted Niwa in forging and personnel management. He was of affable temperament and had many friends in the region, including one Mikoshi Nagamasa. Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. The successor of the Mikoshi clan, adopted son to Oni warrior Mikoshi Chiyo, and the younger adopted brother to Mikoshi Michihiro, also known as Iwakura the Successor. With his mother missing and abandoned by his brother, Nagamasa alone bore the family name, striving daily to wipe the shame from their history. The records state that Mikoshi Nagamasa was a stubborn figure. He was also noted to be a person of moral virtue and integrity. It has been noted in various records that he practiced forging swords for self-cultivation, and especially requested special instruction from Miyazaki to further his capabilities. However, after the famous blade, Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, he used it to slay his subordinate Katsuragi for reasons unknown at present. Oh, see, I was thinking inspector, like a detective, not like a QA inspector. That makes more sense. Subordinate Katsuragi. Katsuragi's full name and background remain unknown. Despite all the materials I have sorted through, I have yet to find any more additional personal information regarding him. As one of Mikoshi Nagamasa's subordinates, he was a loyal warrior who had been saved by Nagamasa in his youth. From then on, he swore to stick by his lord through thick and thin and to give his life in service if it was but asked of him. Kabukimono. Full name unknown. Background unknown. From the many sources I have compiled, combined with Rumi's personal observations, this character might have been the puppet mentioned in the rumors. The Kabukimono was a figure of fashionable grace and gentleness. According to the hidden tales, he was brought back to Tatarasuna by Katsuragi and became a member of the community. When the Kabukimono first arrived in Tatarasuna, he knew nothing of cleaning, cooking, or any work of meticulous nature. The locals taught him their skills over time, showing him how to clean his attire, dance, and craft small trinkets. Records state that the Kabukimono was there when the Daitatara Nagamasa was forged, though his trail ends before Mikoshi Nagamasa slew Katsuragi. I believe that the Kabukimono was indeed the aforementioned puppet, and that he quite likely had a hand in Katsuragi's death. It seems that the rest of this paper remains unfinished. One thing is for sure, though, a lot of thought was put into it.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach.
All right, am I
but
done reading
think
now?
Essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay!
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Interesting, interesting.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it?
Most likely.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we
No.
kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
But
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... the balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
I'm sure Nahida can handle whatever's going on, but you know. Sprint, Kaya, sprint. Bop, 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 bop. She's gonna totally know about it and gonna be so nonchalant. Watch. She's like, oh yeah, I told him to go take a walk.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida, bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
It's just I knew it. She...
Sure enough, you're here.
Hi, sir.
What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up?
I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me.
A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
I don't know.
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. In the grand scale of things, he hasn't really done much. Like, he hasn't... Like, realistically, he hasn't really done anything to warrant Paimon being so mad at him. At least I don't think so. Uh-oh. There we go. I don't know. I think Paimon is overreacting. Oh, Talks redeemed the limber up. Alright. We do some stretch. If you haven't stretched either in a while, chat, make sure you do. It's not good to just sit still for too long. Ugh. Stretchy. And drink some water. Delicious. Alright. Alright, nighty night here.
Well, that escalated
Sleep well if you
quickly.
fall asleep.
Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down?
Paimon's the only one that needs to calm down.
Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us.
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond.
True.
Wait a second. Former? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Why is this my only option? It says so he tossed you out like trash? Bruh.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui. And also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Why are you so rude? Hello?
Well,
Jesus.
if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility,
I don't know how I feel
I
about
need to have
this.
a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously. Nahida, don't listen to him.
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you serious about this?
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit. Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him. He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him.
Yeah,
I
because...
understand. But sometimes Everything is dictated by which side you're on.
Yeah.
How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns.
Oh.
As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection.
Cute.
In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great, thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Ooh! Into Irminsul we go.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Hello?
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Shut your beak, Jailbird!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Honestly,
Sounds like a
chill the
successful
fuck
rendezvous.
out.
I need to be quite
I-
clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru.
I don't like the attitude that they're giving us in this patch. I don't like it. Like, yes, I understand not necessarily trusting him, but why can't we trust Nahida at least? If Nahida thinks that this is worth trying and everything, we don't have to be such a fucking jerk. Like, I don't get it. They're making us be so rude, and it feels really out of character for the Traveler, to be honest. Like, we have never been this harsh with any of the other Fatui, like, not even La Senora. Like, I don't... what the hell?
Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region
I'd think we'd be more sympathetic, because he's kind of pathetic.
You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Fine, let's call it truce.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
There's no need for all the sarcasm, Traveler says, when we're sitting here being jackasses the entire time.
Is this a small sapling?
Oh my god, I hate this. I'm actually mad. I kind of hate this.
Come on, let's catch up with him. inside of Irminsul. Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Because you're a little shit.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
These sapling things have spread out.
Oop.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction.
It seems that the balladeer is more used to it than I.
No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth.
I don't know why Paimon is so fucking shocked.
Me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge tree!
This is the center of Irminsul. All the information in the world is flowing through it.
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
Yeah, why is that so fucking shocking? I don't understand.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Now what are we doing?
For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Telepathic conversation with Nahida.
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
I'm guessing you don't want us to disturb the balladeer.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the balladier's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As
What a
I've told
weird
you
observation.
before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Is it about his past, the betrayals, and the other events in Inazuma?
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into Hypatia at Partis the DI? I don't remember how to say it.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he
So
is
why
today.
are we such a jackass to him?
Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin.
Like, I
Turns
don't
out,
get it.
He can get hurt and angry
That
just like
that's so
anyone else.
that irritates me so
Everyone
much.
has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gesei got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait, how did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Well, give him a fucking second, Paimon. Holy shit.
Just wait.
Yeah, he's, I don't know, maybe reading
Mr.
it?
Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatarasuna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
Oop. We're going in.
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have
This is so
purpose.
expositional.
They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown, all passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces.
And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale.
Spilled my water.
You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe
This
it
is
is you,
so.
sir, who are
This
truly
is written
responsible
so
for the changes in our
awkwardly.
manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to
My
resist thinking
good
it was all
sir.
connected, because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine.
Fontaine. Oh,
Are you
interesting.
sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna. Yep.
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
I wish there was blood in this game, so I
You're
could
a little
better
smarter than I
understand
initially gave you credit for.
that he was injured.
I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all.
So he's Fatui, right?
And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatara Suna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
How did I know it was Dottore?
If you kill me, there's no one who
I
can
knew
get
it.
inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
Yeah, what the hell?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment.
Ooh.
If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet.
Wait,
Make no mistake,
what?
even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
Oh.
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone.
You really
Because
think
not
that he's
everyone
actually gonna relay this message?
just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
Oh, rip Niwa.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat.
Oof.
I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity.
Oh, there he is.
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Bruh. Oh.
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore? Dottore!
Oh. Oh, that's awkward. The animation didn't line up with the voicing.
Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic? But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand.
Is it really that hard to
Perhaps
understand?
you needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject.
Oof.
After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants.
Oh.
The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it had protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim?
God.
That's terrible.
Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what was behind his decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden 100 years ago, but it doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision. Sure,
Yes.
but
Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
we still don't have to be such a jackass.
Tori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Oh, it did this stupid thing. Oh, okay.
Shall we see how he's doing?
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
How you doing processing all that heavy emotion and trauma?
that's a scary expression.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
I hate this.
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
I mean, for us?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world. Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time.
Oh.
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
Okay.
Give me your hand.
I'll be holding hands, I see.
Can you hear my voice inside your head?
Trying to brainwash. God damn it, stop being so rude!
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Oh.
Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
No, dear. Where did he
From this
go?
day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki Mono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are.
You know, I can relate
But
to
if
that.
a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
Well, are we going to return to the past now?
Oh no, he's really gone.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out!
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
I mean, it's not like he
Don't-
has, like, bad
It's not your
intentions. I
fault.
don't think.
Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
I feel like everybody's overreacting in this scenario. But maybe that's just me.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
What's gonna
Her
happen?
voice has gone.
I wanna know!
Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Paimon doesn't remember Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, and the Balladeer's question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full, and the truth might be very distressing for Paimon. I'll skip the part about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata for now and focus on the Balladeer.
He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible! Right! You can't just rewrite history! All that stuff happened already in real life! It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it. So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Oh, Paimon's... Huh? Ah! Sorry, Paimon accidentally... But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable! Is that really possible in Irminsul? Uh-oh. Paimon's had it with that little brat! He's been nothing... There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too? There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But, Paimon, so... how about...
We list our favorite foods.
Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Andrean chili chicken. Almond tofu. Also, Adeptus Temptation. Golden shrimp balls triple.
Oh.
What do we... What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now?
What?
Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what... The Balladeer? Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name, though.
Oh, shit.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something... So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Find my Paimon, but is everything okay?
Okay, time to go to Inazuma, I guess. Though I like that we're just not listening to Nahida and staying put. Nahida, wait here until I tell you. Traveler, gotta go.
We've made it to Amanoma Smithy.
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions.
Okay.
Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art.
Okay.
Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokuden 5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Yes, we were.
Oh, yeah, we were. Paimon remembers that now.
It wasn't that long ago.
We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too. It seems like such a shame.
That, my friend, in fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Oh?
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless
What
lives,
is that lady doing there?
Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphan son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him.
Oh.
Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to.
Oh, jeez.
His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
Aw.
My pleasure.
Alright.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? On to the next stop!
Alright. Are we gonna go see Kazuha then? To the Yashiro Commission. That Yashiro rascal. Sly as a fox.
We're here! This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while.
Hey, Hirotatsu.
If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it.
We'll be heading in then.
Thanks.
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say? Of course, traveler. What would you like
my foot
to
is
know?
falling asleep.
Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the Commissioner's behalf. As for the Commissioner himself, well, you know.
So pretty much business as usual on the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
Hayato is still the commissioner and Ayaka is still the lady of the house. No changes there. Nothing's changed in the Yashiro Commission either.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since...
Alright, goodbye for now. We're, great. Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see.
All right, then.
Can I even get to Tatarasuna?
No. Are you two leaving already?
Don't think I have it unlocked.
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travel.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking of somewhere else. I do have Tatarasuna unlocked. Okay. I was thinking of like the other Thunderbird Island. It's like Raito or something. Oh. There's Electroculi in the area. Oh, one of them is through the thing in the middle, isn't it? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Never mind. Ow. Okay, okay. Oh, okay.
Do I have company?
What kind of person comes to a place like this and just spaces out? Let's find out.
Hey, I wasn't spacing out. I was pondering some problems.
Sure you were.
He sounds like
Time
Escher.
glazed over, dude. You were a million miles away.
Why are you making fun of me? I told you I wasn't spacing out. I was.
Oh, he said Tatarasuna.
Oh, is there something you want to know about Tatarasuna? My name's Xavier. Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago.
Okay.
They said oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna?
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? No, I can't say that I have. I do know the word, Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines, but sadly I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatarasuna is concerned. Of course!
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye.
Oh,
All right.
You're most welcome. More than happy to help.
Sorry, I was shoving a snack in my
Farewell.
mouth.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but what's up with you today? Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Hey, alright, let's head.
That's kind of cute. Keep your smile, Spina Crocodile. Keep your smile, Spina Crocodile.
Hey, it's them.
Oh, hi.
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh?
Oh, Kabuki Mono is taken out. I'm not gonna reread the entire thing. That's too much effort. This part's the same. Removed the kabuki mono. Using the arts they inherited. Da da da. There, the Mikoshi and Niwa clans, along with an eccentric mechanic from abroad, serves 3 windows of insight we need. Oh, okay. Interesting. I think that's different. Perhaps I overstep. His grid grows better when he forges. The obsession to clean his name and the name Mikoshi must eat at him. Jade, steel. Smithing deep into the night. It last made a single Nagamaki. Daitatara Nagamasa still. Zuma was so taken by the beauty that he drew a picture of it. The inspector flew into a rage and slashed Katsuragi. He was burned. He died. Kenshiro hid the Nagamaki in Nozomu's drawing. Nagamasa is harsh, but also knows right from wrong. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the same. Before we withdrew, we should have divided. Okay, so that's all the same. Very old. Huh? Oh, okay, so the yellow sections are the parts that are different. Okay. Rumors about the homeland's past. A great many of these rumors revolved around the yokai, who are so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A small portion, however, repeatedly mentions the word outsider. It should be known that the appearance of such a character, who is suspected to be based on a real person, is a very curious case. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually the following pieces of information came to light. A foreign mechanic once visited Tarasuna. Reportedly, the reason for his immigration was to exchange knowledge and forge ties with the locals. However, the mechanic seemed to behave suspiciously, often wandering around essential or restricted areas, and if someone tried to turn him away, they would only earn incomprehensible mumbles from his lips. The mechanic often stared into the furnace, seemingly to check on its condition. Unsettlingly, he also spent a substantial amount of time watching the local residents. Judging from the era, it was not uncommon to see cross-cultural exchanges of technical knowledge in places such as Tatarasuna. After traveling across the tides, foreign experts being welcome in the region was likely not unreasonable either. Yet calamity came not long after this exchange of knowledge, which hints at high potential for causation between these events. However, some current residents believe that these assumptions were merely the result of their forebears' overactive imaginations, attempting to realize or theorize how things actually unfolded. A list of the individuals related to Tarasuna has been compiled here. This is the same. The mechanic instead of the kabukimono. Long have I delved through many texts and documents, but I was ultimately unable to decipher even a specter of a clue as to his background. Still, mentions of the mechanic grew scarcer in the aftermath of the Tatarasuna incident. I speculate that instead of the mechanic possibly being a figure woven from overripe imaginations, he actually did exist, and perhaps even had a hand in the events that took place in Tatarasuna.
I presume you'll want to
Oh,
read
the
mine
title
as
was
well?
different too. Damn
Here.
it. I missed it. Okay, the Isle of Darkling Clouds. Oh no, it's the same. The title is always in yellow. Okay. Okay, Miyazaki hid his grin. Upon hearing this, Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm. But just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby, their footsteps steady and confident. The head that appeared by the door was that of one from abroad. The newcomer placed some lunch boxes to one side, nodded and made to leave. Katsuragi called out after him, "Sir, what about your meal? Are you not hungry?" The man smiled upon hearing Katsuragi's words. "I already ate. I hope that you, my lords, may also find time to sate your hunger soon." "You are our guest, sir. To see you help in these trifling matters fills me with embarrassment," Niwa said with sincerity. The man smiled as if it was no matter. Then with a nod he departed. Oh, this is different too. The stranger, a foreign mechanic, stood next to the coast. Sunset fell to accompany. This part's the same, but the man stood uncowed, merely gazing into the distance, radiating bloodthirst. None passed by him, and none knew what he was plotting. Time passed, unmeasured and uncounted, until a black cloud suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the mechanic, bearing down on him like an omen. He then caressed the dark mist as if it was a part of his flesh. Okay, then there's the fisherman. Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat and was joined in its bereftness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the mechanic laughed, slowly approaching the grand wreck. Not half an arm was left of the one who had cried out for help, and with a plop it landed at the mechanic's feet, who crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite. He did not, for the dark clouds swirling down had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. Miyazaki may never return. This is the same. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third and a fourth. Each who left to seek salvation did so under foul skies and bleak fortunes. Reason dictated that they should not have risked anyone else, but the situation in Tatarasuna was severe. They needed to gain aid from Inazuma, even should it cost them more lives. It was gone. Suddenly a figure. Dare address him directly. Rematerializing. Okay. Interesting. Content is changed. Two of his names, he really succeeded, must have taken all of his might, but still.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this?
What did you find out?
It's a long story.
Alright, we relay all of what we learned. I wonder if this mechanic is actually...
So many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Amanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it... Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Alright, Nahida, what do you have to say?
Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time.
The Balladeer? This sounds like some kind of code name.
Oh no.
You look troubled.
I am the record keeper.
Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so...
quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because, well, because he literally changed the world?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But the traveler comes from a world beyond Tevat. That's why there's no information about her in Irminsul. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten...
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations.
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given.
Is it really that hard to understand?
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna.
Yeah.
Now he saw them as friends
It's
again.
not that complicated.
He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. This story makes sense. Every part of it.
Yep.
The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
It does make sense, but it just
Thank you for rehashing what just happened less than an hour ago.
to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything she has told us.
Oh?
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Okay. Presented as a fairy tale?
A fairy tale? Who wrote it?
I authored this record myself.
Cute.
Huh? You?
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Okay.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabuki Mono in other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written
That's what she was doing before.
Entered Irminsul.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew she'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one she told us.
Aha! Big brain Nahida!
There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur.
This is
The
cute.
monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water.
Oh.
I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree, who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender, and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this."
Oh, the monster
The
is
monster
Dottore.
smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin."
Ow, shit.
The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood
It
on
has
that
his
mountain.
little hair. That's so
Kitten
cute.
spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
Oh.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened.
Oh.
To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet.
Ow.
This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around.
But this is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take her out for a walk to clear her head?
You got it! Come on, Traveler!
Alright, fine.
Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits!
Oh, now I want a
It's really
tasty
tough
snack.
being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
The little song in the sanctuary is like so mildly creepy. One day my game will load. There we go. Should be able to drop down right here. Oh. I ran into a wall. Oops.
We're here! What should we eat first?
There's something I'm missing. Something important that I'm forgetting.
Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Come on, brain. Let's dig this out. It's got to be in there somewhere. It was something about Irminsul and deleting oneself. Greater Lord Rukadevata, Forbidden Knowledge, Nahida.
What is it? Have you figured it all out?
Yes, that was it. Greater Lord Rukadevata. She said that no one can erase themselves from existence, not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation in Lesser Lord Kusanali to do the deletion for her? There would be no point.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
No, I can't tell Paimon. She doesn't know about Greater Lord Rukadevata. But this is a crucially important detail. It's simply not possible for the Balladeer to completely erase his own existence, in which case the question is, what happened to him?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Oh!
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias, and I promised the lady down—
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsetias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let—
Oh, this is gonna be a stealth section. Where'd he go? Okay, no. I was like, please don't make me do the whole, like, follow behind him but don't get spotted thing. I hate doing those.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
He's so cute and normal.
Huh?
Oh, whoops.
You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us!
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
Yeah, we're not very good at it.
No, we haven't met. But you know me? I have no recollection.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
Oh.
You were right! The look on his face!
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important. Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Then let's return to the city.
Back we go! He's so, like, pure and innocent. Isn't that how Nahida described him earlier? She called him, like, a pure, innocent puppet or something. Or well, somebody described him that way.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Hi.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining.
That's such a funny mental image.
Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't...
I don't what? What do you don't what?
No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
What a nice guy.
All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Oh, I'm not gonna walk all the way over there. Hell no. Pop, 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 pop. Ooh. Got a little spine shiver. Nahida, I'm back.
Nahida! What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
He's so like cute and polite now.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
You say that you're trekking across Teyvat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called, previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past life or something?
Looks at the camera. Looks at the Kusanali again.
Something far more distant
Yeah.
than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation? Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation. If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear. But I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Oh, why did the way he said that kind of hurt?
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong.
I agree!
Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time. A chain of cause and effect. A cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
He wasn't that bad. He was just kind of a goofy dude.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but...
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but he's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he...
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Oh, good point. Given your...
Understood.
Thank you.
Alright. Enter the memory. Oh, it is a domain. No, it doesn't have any specifications. Okay. Are we gonna get to trial him? Maybe? Since it's a domain?
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
Sounds like an immersive experience. It's a good thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
Yes, you do.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
All right. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here.
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
You could say that, in a sense.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners?
Oh, Katsuragi.
No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. No mining crew would be capable of this. There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Not a scratch. And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichio's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
And the rest is history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised as a mechanic. The balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna incident.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Where am I going? Oh, in the hole? Ow. A chest.
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Oh, ah. Ah! Rude.
Huh? What are we doing back here?
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
Oh.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too.
Oh, I was wondering what the other betrayal was. No, it was
voices have
the
gone.
Shogun.
It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
Oh! Ah! I accidentally hit the button. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking around like a nerd. Oh,
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
Long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Don't get frostbite. Dodge this!
Gotcha! Game's up. Fun's over.
Cool it! Dodge this! This moment will be frozen in time. Freeze!
Quietly now.
Dodge this!
Here comes the catch.
Put your back into it! Killjoy! We've only just begun.
Don't get frostbite.
Gotcha.
Ouch.
Come on out! Wrap up the flame! Incinerate!
We've only just begun.
Freeze!
Game's up. Fun's over.
Cool it!
Don't be a killjoy! We've only just begun.
Freeze! Oh, so sorry. Cool it! Dodge this!
Don't be a killjoy! We've only just begun.
Boom boom!
Freeze! Don't push your luck. What's the don't get frostbite?
Phew.
Went too far.
Busted.
Incinerate! I'm out of here! Time for your arraignment! Boom boom!
Cool it!
Quietly now.
Dodge this! Oh, so sorry. Cool it!
Pog. Got him. Easy. Definitely didn't take a shit ton of damage. Like a punk. Just making sure there's no other chests or anything in this room. It's kind of dark in here. It's a little hard to see. Got it. Okay.
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the Delusion Factory in Inazuma.
Oh, I forgot about the
In
Delusion
original
Factory.
version of events, the Traveler once encountered the Balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar. Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan.
I love her.
Perhaps you find fighting in the Abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the Doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Ugh, I love her. I love her so
Poor
much.
little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
I'm worried about you.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we
I
murder
love
each
this.
other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Take it easy. Gotcha.
Cool it!
Here comes the catch.
Freeze! Don't get frostbite.
Easy
Dodge this!
clap. Oh shit. Less easy clap.
Quietly now.
Come on out! And away I go!
This moment will be frozen in time. Freeze!
God damn
I'm
it.
getting tired of this game.
I gotcha. Game's up. Fun's over.
Inadmissible evidence! Huh. Motion to compel! You really know how to get me going.
Dodge this!
Oh, shite.
Busted.
No, 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 no.
Things are about to get dicey.
Ow.
Boom boom! Let me amuse myself.
Don't get frostbite.
Over here! Incentive of the law
Oh, shite.
has loopholes.
Gotcha.
Can't catch me! Ha! Ha! Ninjutsu!
Freeze!
Let me amuse myself.
Busted. Game's up. Fun's over.
Cool it!
Alright,
What's
there's
the-
one,
Oh, so sorry.
2. We made it. Oh boy. should probably put some food on before the next fight. Oh.
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru. Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
That's understating it just a little bit.
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough in the past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim this center of mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I do, let it come past. Can you return my memory to me?
But won't that make you lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with a void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self. I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul-searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours.
Are we gonna get a cutscene? Yeah!
You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free?
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my... Is he alright? No way!
Shut up! Leave him alone, for fuck's sake.
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
Yes! Do we get to play as him now? I want to play as him now. Come on. Yeah!
This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions?
He's so sassy. What a sassy little shit.
Quit following me.
I'm not gonna be very good at playing him, but...
At my command, behold, you shall fall. Insignificant.
The wind rises upon the gale.
You're dead. Behold, feeble human. Unsightly insects. Squall and fury. My endless cycle begins. Behold.
Nothing worth mentioning.
Ah, I'm gonna get him killed. Ah, I'm gonna die. Oh, I live. Okay, never mind.
Wind rises. Insignificant past. Behold.
God, I'm not good at managing his E.
Perish!
No, you. You perish.
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self.
Aw, I liked Soft Wanderer.
But it was you inside that thing
smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am. You sound like you're concerned about me. But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Alright, mission success. Me, myself, but not I. Nice.
Welcome back, Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it. After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the Sixth is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
That's a good question.
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very
True.
clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
Oh, ow. I feel kind of called out.
Oh, right.
Utility to
I
others
almost
is
forgot.
what makes me have
You're
value.
The good guys.
Oof.
You're into justice and all that. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well. I will try.
Traveler.
Yes. Oh, yes.
After I dove into the information torrent in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
I wanted to know what you changed.
How you found out whose fate had changed. And how. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back. Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing
The look on his
books.
face when she
Some
said
things
that.
in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but...
He has a lot to process. Will y'all stop being fucking weird about it?
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too!
Why?
Because...
Then I hope we don't see...
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
No! Paimon only does nicknames! If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Oh god.
Have you got anything?
Okay. Oh man, I didn't come in here. I knew about this, and I still forgot to come in here with a name ready to go. Oh no. Hold on. Okay. Okay. I think.
Are you sure? Oh, all right. If you say so.
Yeah, let's go. I named him.
Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Wait, he wants the nickname? That's so cute.
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one. Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Valid.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing.
Oh.
There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That is up to you.
Okay. I don't know how we're gonna tell that to people.
If we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been. No nonsense. I like it. All right, let's call it a day.
Yeah,
Goodbye,
it's been a
wise
busy day.
deity. And you too.
He's gone.
Wise deity.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore. So we can finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
Paimon's priorities are the same
Thank you
as
both.
always.
I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
Yeah, I hope so too. Wouldn't that be nice? Are we getting another final scene or no? Oh, we are.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because everyone else in the story is dead?
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime.
This is...
Life
okay.
was a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
If I remember correctly, I can just go over here. Oh, I actually thought we were going into the bazaar. Well, that worked out. It's faster this way anyway. Oh. Don't mind me, just here to stick my nose in places it doesn't belong. Bye!
About time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back. Wow, great! Huh? Look at the vase. Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
You sound lost and confused.
Oh.
I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate, like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who is this?
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
Is this the Water Archon?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
Interesting.
The voice has disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff? Anyway, that face is still... Feels wrong just leaving it there.
Interesting. Alright. That is... Oh yeah, I have more of these things. Alright. There's also supposed to be a new domain, right? I don't know where it is, though. I don't know which one it is. Perhaps the patch notes can tell me. Though I will admit, I'm getting pretty tired. So I don't... City of Gold. That's the new one. Look at all these. Nice. And I'm almost 53. I have enough for one wish. Yeah, that's what I thought. That tracks. Unfortunate. Alright. That's gonna be it, actually, I think. I am super tired. And we got through all of the story. So can't complain too much on that. Let me just see. Probably not, because it's so late. Yeah. Alright. I am just going to go ahead and call things there. We will be back tomorrow with some Persona for real this week, I promise. That'll be at the same time tomorrow, so I hope everybody has a good night.